Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Yevamot page 77, which continues along the same theme as we were discussing yesterday, that David, or David HaMelech, was at one point extremely concerned because he looked back upon his great-grandmother and he was questioning whether or not anyone would feel that he was not only not fit to be king, but also maybe not even allowed to marry a regular Jewish woman. And in Hallel, we quote the words of Psalms, Pitachta lemoseroi, literally that God has caused that the straps that were holding me down were opened up. And these two straps are being alluded to when we think of Rus, as well as when we think of Na'amah. Rus, as we mentioned in the book of Ruth, even though she came from Moab, we still say that Boaz was allowed to marry her, because the prohibition of marrying someone from Moab is only a man from Moab. However, a Jewish man like Boaz was allowed to marry a woman from Moab, and therefore David, who ended up being the direct result of that relationship, a great-grandchild, that person is allowed to not only marry into the Jewish nation, but also could and did become king. Not only that, but when it came to David's grandson, who also ruled, Rechavam, in the days of Yeravam as well, Rechavam was also concerned because of his relationship to Na'amah. Na'amah was from Ammon, and therefore the question again would once again stand whether or not he would be fit to be a king. Now this is very fascinating, that when it comes to the leaders of the Jewish people to be king, we find that they have skeletons in their closet. They have questionable backgrounds. Now, the Torah does say that it's okay, but why did it come from this type of background? Wouldn't it make more sense that they should just have perfect parents, a perfect mother, a perfect father? Why does it have to be that all of these questions arise when it comes to the greatest people? And I think there's two answers. First of all, it shows the truth and humanity of the Torah. The Torah doesn't just paint pictures of these biblical figures that they were perfect, that they were flawless, they never made any mistakes. We know that David made mistakes, but the greatness of him was the fact that he was able to repent and teach us that even though we make mistakes, we can improve and grow. And that's the same thing. He may not have had the best background. Why would the Torah tell us and paint the picture this way? It really shows how true and authentic the Torah is, that even people from such backgrounds nonetheless are king. And it's okay. We're not going to hide that fact. But I think it's also coming to tell us another profound message. And that notion is that when it comes to a king, they often would wish to hide their background and to show that they're perfect themselves. But the reality is they're not perfect. And as role models, they need to teach all the world that it's okay to have a questionable past. We need to be able to grow and become better people, despite our backgrounds, or even to embrace our backgrounds, but to never say that I am perfect, and to show and to hide who you truly are.